20 years ago, they managed a Hollywood video store where they talked movies, music, TV, and pop culture 24/7. Now, in the vein of great reunions like Color Me Bad, Caddyshack 2, and the Two Coreys, they re-emerge to talk the culture of pop. Here are your hosts, Brett, Fred, and James.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Culture of Pop. I'm joined by Fred, Nicole, his wife, and myself. James is out today, so we will be talking about parody movies. I mean, not because he's out, but we're just going to talk about him.
but first, I am plugging these right now. I order blank hockey masks from the internet, and I've just found out I can actually get these damn things cheaper, too, by the way. This was like, I'm not going to go into prices, but anyways, I take these blank hockey masks and I paint them. The camera doesn't do it justice, but these things are fucking amazing. Any Friday the 13th style mask that you want, I will paint. These are $45. Just let me know what your favorite part is, and I will make you a mask. And
I'm telling you right now, these are 100 times better than any cheap mask you will find in a store.
Oh, much better.
This looks like authentic merchandise to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not
I
tooting
think it
my own horn when I say that. And they're all individually signed, too. I got my signature and everything on the back there with the date.
And I saw you had one that was burned, right? Like, you made one that was burned, or you were showing me one that was burned, like in one of the...
A long time ago, I made one of those, actually. I got a buddy,
badass.
Jason Cox. I got a friend, Jason Cox. I had one of these crappy ones you're talking about from the store, and it was just, it had like the 3 holes, or the 6 holes in front, and a 2 right there above the thing. It was just a crappy little mask. I cut the hell out of it, and I took a lighter to it and melted parts of it.
See, that was cool.
Yeah, I can do that too. I mean, any method. I mean, they're pretty badass.
I like them. I think they're...
I like making these things too. They're fun to make. It takes a night per mask for me to do this, and I could probably do multiple masks at once.
I like it. But I like it.
Yep, $45. 45. Contact me through the Culture of Pop, whatever, and I'll get you a mask.
Yes, we have an email address, by the way. I don't know if anybody knows it, but it's thecultureofpop3@gmail.com. So if you have any questions or you want to get to Fred that way or anything, there you go. That's the way to do it. Or you can just leave a comment on one of our videos on YouTube or something like that, and we'll get back to you.
Help me pay my bills.
So today, parodies. Now, what was the first parody you guys saw?
The first parody movie I ever saw, believe it or not, was Spaceballs.
Which is, yeah.
Yeah, you know this because we tried recording this, but it wasn't recording, so I have to say it all again.
Jesus Christ, it's hard to fake it.
It really is. It really is. I don't know how actors do it.
I don't either. Just take 2. Yeah, exactly.
The first parody movie I ever saw was Spaceballs,
yes.
believe it or not.
Yes.
I even saw that before I saw any of the Star Wars movies.
That's weird to me, but I mean, that's...
Right? Well, they had that, I don't know if you remember the pay-per-view channel that they had the previews for that, what was playing on.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I first learned of the existence of Spaceballs, which in turn taught me of the existence of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen one until I was about 9 years old.
Really?
Yeah, I was 9 when I first saw The Empire Strikes Back. That was the first one I saw, and I'm going to say this again. Screw you, Uncle Scott, for this next story. You can kiss my ass. Now, when I talk about my Uncle Scott, this is a guy who told me in 1977 he walked out of the theater a half an hour into Star Wars because, quote, it was nothing but 2 robots beeping at each other. Okay, that's where this is coming from.
Oh my God!
Yeah, the first Star Wars movie I ever saw was The Empire Strikes Back. It was on late at night. It was on CBS or ABC or one of those channels.
Yeah.
Started at like 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, 9:30 rolls around, and my Uncle Scott says, "Okay, kids, let's go to bed." And it was like right at a commercial break for it was. You know the scene. I love you. I know. Lowers him into the thing. Commercial. All right, let's go to bed. For 3 years, I thought Han Solo was dead.
All right, let's go to bed.
Right?
Oh my God, that's a challenging story, dude.
Drive me nuts. And I that caused scars.
I have to tell you. As far as we'll get to Nicole's in a minute, but as far as Mel Brooks is concerned, I am a Mel Brooks aficionado.
Oh, I love him.
I grew up on Mel Brooks from my mom, so on and so on.
You can't talk parody
you will
without bringing
be
him up.
yes, and you will be deeply disturbed to hear that I did not care for Spaceballs. Only
I
because
can understand. I really can.
it's very silly. I
It
like
is.
silly stuff, but I don't like over silly.
And a lot of the jokes are dated too.
And there's
Like,
and
any kids watching that today, they're probably not going to get it.
no, and I'm telling you, Mel Brooks. I mean, Blazing Saddles, one of my favorites. High Anxiety, which I don't know if a lot of people heard of, but it's a great Alfred Hitchcock parody. It
based
parodies
on,
all the Hitchcock films.
Yeah.
And it is hilarious. Now, Spaceballs and Men in Tights are two that I always disagree with. And I'm not saying this to you, okay? This has nothing to do with you, but everybody who likes Men in Tights doesn't like Mel Brooks. Because I don't consider it a Mel Brooks movie. It's so overly silly. It's so overly doesn't just seems like everything was thrown at the fucking wall. And let's do this, this, and this. And I think with Mel Brooks, that's the problem, and maybe why he quit directing, besides the fact that he's like 170.
Well,
his later material kind of, it just kind of seemed like I said, he was throwing stuff at the wall.
like he was running out of ideas.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Just kind of throwing whatever up on the screen.
And that's what I get pissed off about sometimes as far as parody, and we'll get into the parody movies, and I'll ask you, Nicole.
Right.
But one of the things that I get really pissed off about is the fact that with Mel Brooks, when you're watching the movies and you get what he's saying with like Blazing Saddles, High Anxiety, and you got to be attuned. How am I trying to say this? You got to be attuned to other movies. In other words, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've really got to be attuned to other movies with Mel Brooks movies. I mean, that's why I think that's why maybe Spaceballs was just so overly done.
It came out a little too late too.
Yeah, you're right.
Because there was, I mean, like I said, I saw this before I ever saw a Star Wars movie. It came out how many years? Like 3 years after Return of the Jedi?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. It was a
like
while.
86, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was the first parody movie you saw?
You actually mentioning Mel Brooks jogged my memory of one of my earliest parody movies I saw, Young Frankenstein.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that was one of my earliest. That and the Naked Gun series.
Yes, Naked Gun. Yep, Naked Gun is awesome. And does anybody remember from the Files of Police Squad, the TV show?
Oh, hell yes.
That was awesome.
Naked Gun.
The best part about the Files from Police Squad on TV, it was a half-an-hour series, and the best part about it was every episode, if you remember back in like the 70s and 80s, they'd say, and special guest star, William Shatner, for the Columbo episode or something. And it was always awesome because they always did, and special guest star tonight, William Shatner. And then like they would show him and he'd die within the first 2 seconds. Every special guest star would immediately die at the very beginning.
I love that.
And that was fucking hilarious.
That was a good show. That was one of those, I think it was on Nick at Night for a while. I used to watch it all the damn time. It was with reruns of Dragnet and shit.
Yeah, and that's where Naked Gun came from.
Yep.
So the first parody movie I ever saw was, of course, Airplane. I saw it in a theater
Nice.
with my parents, and I know I understood parts of it. I must have, whatever year it came out, so I must have been like maybe 11, 12, whatever, I don't know. But I know I understood parts of it, but I can still remember when they have the shit hitting the fan, and the shit actually hits the fan, and I didn't understand at that time that I didn't understand that saying, because I was like 10 or 11.
It's so funny though, like with movies, movies or anything like that, like you don't catch things like that when you watch it as a kid, but as an adult, you're like, I see what they
exactly.
did there.
Yeah, and that's what's great about it. But I can remember leaning over and asking my mom what it meant, and she told me, and I just laughed for like, nobody even knew what I was laughing about because it was like the joke was so late.
What sucks is Jim's got some airplane stories.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I don't want to. They're his stories. I don't want to.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want to go into it. So.
Well, let's pull that thing up and let's see what other. Now that we've talked about.
Absolutely. Here's some of our. If this backfires, don't blame me.
It won't backfire. Everything's
There we
backfired already. So we got that up. That's our top 50 parody movies that
This is our top
IMDb is saying. We already mentioned Airplane. Now, some of these we're going to be taking out. We'll talk a little bit about some of them, but some of them I don't.
You can already see number 2, Austin Powers. That is not a parody.
No, it's not.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, of a spy movie, yes, but do you really?
It was kind of its own thing, though.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It was kind of its own character and everything.
And then again, you had Spaceballs, the T-shirt, Spaceballs, the Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
I know I said when we tried to record earlier, too.
So it was kind of its own thing, too.
That we definitely, because I saw some stuff on this list, we definitely will not be talking about things like Meet the Spartans or another epic movie and all that kind of shit. Because like I
you
said...
just put not another teen movie on...
Yeah.
Was that what brought
Not
us
another
up?
teen movie. No, Not Another Teen Movie is one of my favorite movies, and I didn't know I didn't own it. and I wanted to watch it with Melinda, and I was like, I don't own this, so I was like, I guess we have to buy it.
I'm gonna have to watch it. She wants to watch it one more time just for the Chris Evans bikini thing.
I mean, honestly, that's some pretty delicious looking dessert in my opinion.
Well,
it's hilarious. I think it's the best movie done about the movies that we grew up on. All the Breakfast Club, Molly Ringwald's even in it, for Christ's sake, which is really cool.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and
I skipped it because it just looked like Scary Movie 27.
Exact, and that is kind of what it does look like. But that's probably one of the really good last really good parody movies that I can remember. And then all that shit came out, like Meet the Spartans and
I'll
all
have
that
to give that a watch
bullshit.
sometime then.
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay, so I would definitely agree with Airplane being on the list on number one.
I do agree that it needs to be up at number one. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's one. It's even if it's not your favorite, it's still arguably the most classic one on this list.
Yeah.
I haven't even gone through the whole list yet.
Guaranteed. Yeah, and there was one before that those guys did that we'll get to. It's on the list, and it's one of my favorites. We'll talk about it. But the Airplane guys did something before this, and not many people are aware of it, unless you're like a film buff. But we'll get to it.
Okay.
Let's just pass Austin Powers.
Yeah. Well, again, kind of fits the list. I understand why they put it on here.
Yeah, I get it. It's a parody of spy movies, but I also at the same time don't think it's.
It doesn't play like a parody though. It plays like its own thing. It plays
exactly.
like a comedy that was written as its own thing.
There's kind of aspects of it that are a parody, like with Random Task and Odd Job.
Yeah.
When
you talk about, I don't know, man, because it's hard. Because is there a different selection of parody movies? Like Airplane is boom, 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 boom.
Different subsections in the category?
Because I'm thinking movie 43, which isn't on this list, and I've heard nothing but dissing about it lately, which really pisses me off because it's a good movie.
That movie is hilarious.
Yes.
Is that a parody, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
is that? Because I would think parody would have to be emulating something and put it... Like, for instance...
Airplane.
Do I need to remind you of the iBabe scene, Fred?
Well, no, you never need to remind me of that. I would die so quick.
You would. You'd leave me a very, very sad widow.
Well, let's keep on going. I can kind of see where you're coming from.
This is going to be a tough list.
It is.
Because, what I consider a parody movie is direct. And Austin Powers, like you said, it's just a separate trilogy, actually, of itself.
It's its own thing. It's
I don't know if I would
it's like
count
in like
it.
Flint,
Yeah.
Which itself, I think, was meant to be a parody of the spy genre.
Yeah, it was. It was, yeah. Yep.
But it still played like its own thing,
Casino
too.
Royale, the second Casino Royale with Peter Sellers. That was in the 70s. That was a parody of Bond movies.
Absolutely.
So anyway, Naked Gun, of course. we already talked about most of that. But I don't know about you guys, but I like all three of them.
I do too.
How many of you, or who among you actually predicted that OJ would wind up in the trouble he was going to?
Not me.
Nobody.
Not me.
While watching him fuck up in this,
it's really weird watching him in that movie now, but in any of those movies that he was in. But what they did here is the same thing they did with Airplane, and not a lot of people know this. There's a whole segment of the population, especially now, that didn't know Leslie Nielsen was a serious actor, like a dead serious actor. And that when he did Airplane and accepted that role, as a matter of fact, I think they wanted somebody else who was like even more big and famous. But he had been done no comedy, been in nothing but straightforward like sci-fi movies and thrillers and shit like that. And then he came on to do this, and there's this, like I said, there's this whole segment that just know him as being a silly guy. Is he dead?
He's probably he's not dead. I don't think.
Is he
Leslie Nielsen?
Are you sure? I think he's dead.
No, I think Leslie Nielsen died years ago.
Yeah, I think he did. Anyway, he was great at it.
He's probably going to show up on this list quite a bit.
Oh yeah. And there's one on here actually that I forgot that he did that's just horrible. So he did make one mistake, but we'll get to that.
I want to predict, but I don't want to say it out loud in case I'm.
I didn't even remember it until I saw this actually. So
really?
He did do now. Wait, he did do one that's not on this list that actually is kind of funny called Repossessed. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
Oh my God,
you know that?
I remember that one.
Linda Blair was even in that too. That was was great.
Yeah.
I remember that was another one that was from my early childhood
Yeah.
too. My dad was like, well, you know, you like The Exorcist.
Yeah.
There was this movie here that was really funny and blah blah blah. And I was like, you know what, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was good for its time. It really was.
It really was. It still stands up to this day,
Yeah,
too.
I haven't seen it in ages. I don't even know where to find it at. I mean, I'm gonna have to go home and look for that now, probably on one of those other alternate sites.
And it had so many little tongue-in-cheek moments.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
whenever they're like in the limo and they've got the little poodle with them and everything. And the poodle goes flying
God, I
out.
haven't seen that in so long. Now I have to see that.
Man.
Disclaimer, the culture of pop does not condone downloading torrent files.
No, we do not. No.
Or throwing poodles out of limousines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what she said.
And the next one is Spaceballs.
Yes, Spaceballs. And again, I mean, I guess I can kind of see why you have a distaste for it. It is very,
It's not
very
really a
silly.
distaste. It's more so. It's like the way I felt about Motley Crue when Vince Neil left. Okay. And I know this is weird to get to this point, but
Or kind of how I feel about the difference between Van Halen and Van Hagar.
yeah, and that's the same way I feel. And
It's just completely different.
but
bands.
like with Vince Neil, it was like they did a good album with John Corabi. The problem is they named it Motley Crue. If they wouldn't have named it Motley Crue, it would have sold and it would have been a good album.
Yes.
That's my problem with Spaceballs. Spaceballs seems like it's just pretty much him. Like I said, I keep going back to that, but I mean, it's like him throwing everything at the wall. And if it would have been another director, like if somebody else's name would have been on it, like I say, Motley Crue should have changed their name.
Right.
I probably would have liked it. But I think I was just disappointed in Mel Brooks because he wasn't always that silly. Like Young Frankenstein is clever as fuck.
Yes.
So is High Anxiety.
And it's
So is
next on the
Blazing
list, too. Young
Saddles.
Frankenstein is next on the list. And it's been ages since I've seen that one. So.
Yeah, and it's great. It's amazing.
And it's that time of year, so.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
Exactly. And I'll go ahead and skip past Spaceballs for now because I think we do disagree on that.
It's not that I don't like it. I just, like I said, if it was somebody else directing it, I wouldn't have been. It was kind of more
I
disappointment.
didn't have the biases going in that you did, though.
Yeah,
It was
you're
my
right,
first.
you're right.
It was my
Yeah,
first
exactly.
Mel Brooks movie.
You're right. Yep.
I hadn't seen what he'd done before that. I hadn't even seen the source material
Yeah,
that it was making fun of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You know?
I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and
It was just
As a kid,
I was just let
it
down.
just kind of really
Yeah.
it made me giggle. And it still does.
Those are the two in Mel Brooks's canon that I do not like: Spaceballs and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Young Frankenstein, we already talked about that pretty much, but of course we know that's just that's cinematic genius.
Oh, it really is.
I mean, Gene Wilder, one of my favorite actors of all time, if not most favorite actor. I mean, and Peter Boyle. I mean, oh God. I mean, oh.
Makes you appreciate taco too. doesn't it?
Cloris Leachman. Yeah. Cloris Leachman is excellent in that, as
All
she is
right.
in most Mel Brooks movies. She's usually a really zany, weird character. And what is she the one? Isn't what's her name?
Frau Blucher.
And every time the horses,
Doesn't matter where it was in the castle.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
you always hear the horse
the
whinny.
horse whinny when they say her name. That's God, it's
Blucher.
hysterical. Oh, and then the whole thing with him calling himself Frankenstein, and it's not.
And my nickname at work has become Froderick.
Why?
Unintentionally. I'm surprised it's not on my paychecks.
All right, what else after Young Frankenstein? What do we
After
got
Young
here?
Frankenstein, we got the Hot
Hot
Shots. movies.
Shots.
Now, was this before or after all the coke and hookers?
This was before, and
Okay.
this was in direct parody of Naked Gun. I do believe it's by the same. Does it say there? Is it not by? It's some of the
Top
people.
Gun. Top Gun.
No. I know that, but what I'm saying is, I think it was done by the same people who did Naked Gun.
Was it?
I can't think of their names now.
Well, let me.
The guys that did Hot Shots, or not Hot Shots, Naked Gun. See if there's. Yep, Jim Abrams and Pat Proft, right there. Those are the
go
writers.
To the.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Just passed it.
It's you, Pat. It's the same. It's the
Right
same
there.
guys.
More like this.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Up.
Up. Right there.
There we go.
See, Jim Abrams was the director.
Okay.
Jim Abrams and Pat Proft wrote it.
Yep,
Those are
okay.
the guys that wrote Airplane. They're the guys that wrote The Naked Gun. So that's why this movie was so good.
And it makes sense too, because I mean, all those movies kind of have the same feel to them.
Yeah.
It's like if Metallica puts out 5 albums in a row,
Yeah.
it's always going to sound like Metallica, no matter
Yeah.
what they're fucking doing, because it's the same people working on it. That's why when you take pieces of the creative team away, it kind of loses the flavor that it had.
And that's what happened in some of the other, like, Scary Movie and some of the other ones where
that's
they
what happened with Star Wars.
See, what's funny is Scary Movie was good. 1, 2 were good. 3 was all right. Now 4 took over by these guys. Why was 4 so shitty? Why was there 5? I can't remember.
Wasn't the first few the Wayans brothers?
Yeah, and they did a good job, and there's a reason, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Right,
but
it's probably on the list.
There's a reason they did a good job. But I don't understand why the Scary Movies weren't that good with Jim Abrams doing them, and at that point, like 4 and 5, I think. But anyway, all right. So Hot Shots, and Hot Shots has one of my favorite scenes of all times in movies. I don't know if it's Hot Shots 1 or Hot Shots 2, where they're both on the boat, where Charlie Sheen's on the boat writing, and then his dad's on the boat, and it's the scene from Apocalypse Now.
I don't remember.
And okay, so in Apocalypse Now, he's on a boat. Not Charlie Sheen, but Martin Sheen, his father.
Right. Yes.
He's on a boat, and he's writing.
Okay. Yes.
He's writing down in his journal. It was a hot day. Blah blah blah. Well, then they both cross boats, Charlie Sheen and him, and Charlie Sheen yells out, "What's he yell out?" He yells out something, and then Martin Sheen yells out, "Loved you in Wall Street," or some shit like that. And it's hilarious because they're both doing the exact same thing, just different generations of the movie. It's really neat the way they did it. But that's one of my favorites. We're gonna pass Monty Python because
I don't get why that's even on the list.
There's a bunch of Monty Pythons on here, and that's a whole different section of parody.
That's just comedy. That's not even, I wouldn't even say it's parody. That's just comedy bits.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it is like. It's done exactly like Movie 43. If you look at it, it's done exactly like Movie 43 and stuff like that because it's all sketches put together into one cohesive movie.
No, that's not to say that this wasn't a hilarious fucking movie.
No, definitely. It was.
We watched this in our mythology class too.
Really?
Yeah. We were doing, we spent most of the time doing Greek mythology, and we moved on to Roman, which is essentially Greek mythology with different names attached to it. And then from there we went on to Norse very briefly. We touched on Arthurian legend after that, and for each one of these we would watch movies. Each one of these different sections of mythology, we would watch all the movies for it. And the teacher even got in trouble because he used to not skip past the sex scene. Like we got to see the nude shit in Excalibur,
Which there was a lot of nude shit in Excalibur. There was a
lot of nude
I can remember watching that when I was like 12. And it wasn't for the sword.
The strongest memory that I have of Monty Python and the Holy Grail was when the two guards are standing there and Lancelot's just running off in the distance, running towards them. And they're just like standing like, oh, what the hell is this? And then all of a sudden he's like right up on him and he just slaughters him and goes in and kills the whole damn one. The original Red Wedding.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, not to get off the subject, but if you like the Red Wedding, which I'm not a Game of Thrones fan, I never saw it, but there is a scene in the new AHS
I'll save
episode.
You some trouble. Just go beat your head against that brick wall for a half an hour, and you got the gist of the series.
There's a great wedding scene in the next second season or second episode of the new AHS, which they're comparing to the GOT Red Wedding.
No, I'm
anyhow,
curious. We have to watch.
You've got to watch it.
We have to start watching that.
All right. So what else we got here? Monty Python. We're not counting. Do you want to count that? I saw it. I wasn't a big fan. It's not that It's not that I. It is a parody movie. It is a parody movie. It's like they took Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash's story, and they made it into something completely, hilarious. And it is funny. And of course, I don't know who doesn't like, John C. Reilly. And you don't like John C. Reilly at all, really?
I don't like John C. Reilly, and I don't like Will Ferrell. I feel like they are acquired tastes, and I never acquired those tastes.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Now there are exceptions. He's a decent actor. I've seen him in some things that when he's front and center, that's when he loses me.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people like that. I would agree with that completely.
I liked his role in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
I like it when he does side stuff.
Yeah, he's very good as a character actor. Very good. But it's all right. Let's go on next one. What's the next one? Spies. Just pass that. That's not even a parody. It's just a horrible movie. I can remember seeing that in the theaters. That's how old I am. And I only saw it for Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase, and it's horrible. So keep going. Yeah, Blazing Saddles. Do we count that?
It's a parody.
Yeah.
It is a parody.
It is a parody.
It's a parody of all those old westerns.
All right. Well, then, if that's a parody, then it's one of the best.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an
There is
amazing
no way that movie would get made today.
No, and you know what bothers me? What bothers me, and Fred's gonna hate it when I say this.
Most likely.
What bothers me is that I'm fearful that some of these movies, especially Mel Brooks' older movies are going to eventually end up in a burn pile. I think that's the way we're headed. Because that movie...
I can't disagree with that. I can see it coming, too.
That movie specifically targets the N-word. Specifically.
Yes.
The problem is that nobody ever thinks about is that Richard Pryor helped fucking write it.
Yeah.
Okay? And Richard Pryor was supposed to be in the role of... what's his face? I can't think of the guy's name that played the black sheriff.
Oh, shit.
But he was supposed to do that role and they didn't want him for it, or somebody didn't want him.
The thing that's funny, I know you said you're not a huge fan of Robin Hood Men in Tights, but I have to, call back to that scene at the very end whenever Dave Chappelle, becomes the new sheriff of Nottingham. What, y'all never seen a black sheriff before?
Yeah, this definitely, I don't even think this could be played in a theater today, like for a Renaissance. I mean, maybe if you live in like New York or some shit like that, but yeah, it's definitely Cleavon Little, he was a great guy. Slim Pickens, jeez, Harvey Korman. I mean, look at that cast. I mean, that cast alone is classic comedy actors. Madeline Kahn is what's her name in that one? Cloris Leachman? I thought she was in almost every one that he did. I guess not. I don't see her.
I don't see her name.
Okay, I just guess I couldn't remember.
I click full cast, but that seems like a lot of work.
Harumph! So. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy. So anyway, yeah, Blazing Saddles classic. Here's High Anxiety. See, and I don't even think that's on the list, which sucks. But
let's see what else is on the list because we're only at number 10.
Yeah. So what's next?
Next on the list, The Comebacks.
I have never heard of this. I did see this on the list. I've never heard of it.
It's a year on this. 2007. Okay, wait. I think I remember this movie coming
spoof?
out.
It's a sports spoof, I guess.
I don't remember this one.
I don't either. I have no clue. I don't even click on it. See who's in it. Is there anybody even like?
Yeah, here's how we do that. Open.
Anybody actually in it that we even know? Oh, that's what's his name. I do like him. Oh, now wait a second.
We got some volume on this?
We will. No, we do.
If you believe dreams can come true, if you believe underdogs can become champions, if you believe in miracles,
that's why I like IMDb. It has
then
trailers.
you
Same with your
seen too many sports movies.
Yeah, okay.
The washed up coach.
I love him.
He is good.
With one last chance.
I do remember this, the trailer.
I think. Oh, it's coming back to me.
Okay, you can open your eyes again.
The underdog team of misfits.
Why don't you act like a barbell and get benched?
Violence is not the answer!
Yeah!
And the bartender from Philadelphia, whose only dream was to play ball.
I'm just a bartender from Philadelphia whose only dreams are to play ball.
Well, there it
This
is.
fall, from the producers of Wedding Crashers, comes the movie that's brighter than Friday.
I remember that. I do remember seeing that old Rocky.
Fix it. More special than radio.
I forgot about radio.
And has more balls
Nothing can stop it. Nothing can stop this kid.
than dodgeball.
You can dodge your wrench.
Oh,
you can dodge a
Jesus.
tackler. Same thing goes for a firearm.
The comebacks.
No one's going home till one of you can knock me down. Hey, everybody, hit the shower.
Okay, wait a minute. Who
All right.
was that?
That's what's his name?
No. I know who that
Oh,
was.
okay, okay.
I meant the girl in the. Hang on.
That looks like it could be a winner, but it looks like it might. I don't know. That could go either way on that one. Corky Romano, my God. Oh, Carl Weathers is in it though. I mean, you got to give it credit for Carl Weathers. Jeez.
I love Carl.
Action Jackson, baby. Who are you looking for? That chick?
Yeah.
Nick Searcy's in it. He's in. I'm trying to think of a.
Oh shit! I was reading the character names, not the.
What's the name of that show?
Honestly, don't.
That show with that guy.
Timothy Oliphant.
Santa
awesome.
Clarita Diet?
Nope, the other one, the good one. I mean, no, Santa Clarita Diet I liked, but
That was
I mean,
good. I haven't seen the third season because I'm afraid that it's just gonna make me want more, and I'm not getting more. You know?
Justified. That's what I was thinking of. He was in Justified with what's his name, Timothy Oliphant. Okay, so what else we got?
Moving on, we got more Monty Python.
Yeah,
of course.
so that doesn't.
Does Shaun of the Dead count? That wasn't even a full comedy. That wasn't even a slapstick comedy. That was just.
I think it just counts as a
zombie comedy. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a zombie comedy.
It's just like Zombieland.
There's no parody to that.
Yeah, there's no parody to it. It's making fun of zombie movies, but
you know what? I feel
so
like
did
we should.
Zombieland.
I feel like I should look something up real quick. I'm gonna pop this up.
Okay.
And this might help us a little bit here.
Where are you going? Poopshoot.com? Wasn't that the name of that one?
I want an official definition for parody. That's what I want.
Oh, okay. Parody definition. Here we go. Parody definition.
And an imitation of the style of a particular writer, artist, or genre with deliberate exaggeration for comic effect. No. By that definition,
No.
I don't think Shaun of the Dead fits.
No, it doesn't.
Who compiled this list?
I don't know. But Shaun of the Dead definitely doesn't
I need to have
fit.
some words with them.
And then the next one, if you guys want to talk about that, go ahead.
I'll pass.
I'm just not a fan of it.
I can't even watch the movie that it's making fun of anymore. I watched
Which
that
one? There's like
Prince
7
of
Robin
Thieves,
Hoods.
specifically
Prince
Prince
of
of Thieves.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it even says right there.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Robin Hood,
in
Prince of
particular,
Thieves.
Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
It doesn't stand up.
Really?
It doesn't.
Well, if I remember right, Kevin
walking
Costner's
around
accent.
England with an American accent.
Yeah, his accent goes on and off and on and off.
Trying to speak as though he's British
Yes.
with an American accent just pulls you right the fuck out of it.
Yes, definitely.
Morgan Freeman's good in anything that he does.
Yeah.
But the rest of that movie, I feel, is unwatchable. The only thing that I think that movie has contributed to society is that awesome fucking music that plays before trailers. You know?
The only Robin Hood that I've ever liked, I'll be
before
completely
other
honest with you, was the Disney one. That's the only one I ever liked.
That was the first one I saw.
The cartoon one.
Right, with the fox.
Yeah. That's
That
the
was
only one I
first
ever
ever
liked.
saw. Wasn't it convenient that Maid Marian was also a fox?
Yes, that's
know?
true too. But
She could have been a fucking ostrich, and then they would have been
an
fucked.
ostrich.
Because a fucking ostrich can't breed with a fox.
And pig and elephant DNA just don't splice.
Are we really doing this?
You got that there.
All right, the next one
shit.
now, I'm a huge fan of, and I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I have seen it as a long time ago.
God,
I have
that is
not.
most definitely a parody. It's Michael
Is it?
Keaton. Oh yeah, of what do you call it?
This,
Just put on a clip from it. See if you can find a clip. Just put Johnny
I can
Dangerously
just-
or
probably
even
just-
the trailer.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say, just play the trailer.
and
Fuck
you
it.
can see by the trailer that
We
it's
got time. We got half an hour.
it's pretty much a dead-on parody of
if I can figure out how to operate the thing again.
old 1930s
you gotta be
movies and
fucking
shit.
kidding me. Hang on.
There's no trailer?
No,
Oh,
there's
that
no
sucks.
fucking trailer. Hang on a second.
Oh well.
Let me go here and do this.
I would definitely consider Johnny Dangerously a parody. It's a parody of old 1930s gangster films and that kind of shit. Especially so much more than early theatrical trailer.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Trailers in the early 80s, late
Yeah.
70s, and before, they were way different than what we've got now.
Well, go ahead and play her and see
Yeah.
what we got here.
Hey, I know you. You're from Saturday Night Live. You're Joe Pittman. I'm Danny Berman. This chump was gonna show you some previews for a new gangster movie called Johnny Dangerously. Check this
Okay.
out. Does this jerk look like a real gangster to you?
I'm Batman.
He looks like Michael Keaton to me.
No, it's Mr. Monty.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, everybody loves this guy. Broads love him.
I'm not wearing a bra, Johnny.
That makes two of us. Matter what she had left, Ma.
His mother loves him.
I love him, but someday I'm gonna knock him on his...
We should spend some time together.
The DA
Wow,
loves
he was
him.
young once?
Yeah.
2 weeks in Puerto Rico. You got fire. Vert.
The new torch singer loves him.
Mary Lou Henner?
Yep.
I like those on a woman.
Little babies love him.
Oh, wait.
Johnny, it's an honor to have you on Duff Road.
Don't be silly. Pleasure's all mine.
So how'd he get his own tailor in prison?
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Dom
Well,
DeLuise?
this is
I'm
one
sold.
guy who ain't got no love for this phony.
You shouldn't hang me on a hook.
My mother hung me on a hook, or my father. Once.
Well, Johnny's busted my chops for the last time.
This is probably the best thing Joe Piscopo's ever done.
Oops.
Michael Keaton,
Joe Piscopo, Dom DeLuise, Peter Boyle, Griffin Dunn, Richard Dimitri, Ray Walston.
See Johnny Dangerously at a selected theater near
But
you.
I saw Burgess Meredith in there too.
Somebody who went to a select
Oh, he might be.
theater
He might be. Now, one of the funny thing is, one of the guys, and this will show you, that really wasn't a good trailer to show that it was like a parody movie. I mean, it was all right.
Well, no, it kind of did its job, I think.
One of the things that was really funny was there was a guy who's in it, and he plays a bar owner, and he's got an accent. I don't know what the accent's supposed to be, but they get away with using the F word about 1,000 times by him mispronouncing it. He always says "fargan." You fargan bastard! You fargan! And he says it over and over, and it was the most clever way to get away with saying "fucking" without, because he's saying it, but he's in his accent. You can't really, you know what I mean?
That's why Farscape and Battlestar Galactica changed that shit around so that they could get away with cursing up a fucking storm on network television.
Yeah.
Walk around saying "frell" and fucking
frack
on yes, you can just get away with it.
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest trailer. You have to see the movie. It really is more like Airplane and stuff
like I said,
that.
The cast alone sold me.
Yeah, it's a good cast. It is.
I'm down.
It's probably the best thing, like I said, Joe Piscopo did. Now, this is one of the first ones that Wayans did before Scary Movie. And this is all right. I mean, it's a parody of, of course, Boys in the Hood, South Central, all those major movies that came out in the 80s.
And
Have
I
you
still
seen
sometimes reference this title, and yeah, I've seen it.
You don't like it? Yeah, it's
I like the movies it's based on.
It's a little, yeah. But it's a little too silly. I mean, it really gets really silly.
I mean, the title alone.
Yeah. Don't be a menace to society while drinking your juice in the hood. So we've got what? Menace to Society in there. South Central was a movie. Juice was a movie. Of course, Hood comes from Boys in the Hood. So we've already got 5 parodies in just the title alone. But anyway. Okay, yeah, it was all right. I'd leave it alone. There's other ones on this list by Keenan Ivory Wayans that I think are probably better.
Fair enough.
Spinal Tap we
Spinal
did.
Tap is most definitely, yes, we've already done an entire fucking, what was it, a half an episode?
Yeah, it was like a half an hour. But yeah, that's definitely on the list. I don't even know if we really want to talk about that one that much because we already did.
We said what we had to say. She wasn't present for that one, though. Do you have any thoughts on This Is
Spinal Tap?
Honestly, I mean, what could be better? I mean, you take music, metal, and comedy, and put your hands together. I mean, it's funny as hell.
And you got some good music in there too. Even if it's like with Tenacious D. If you remove the comedy aspect, you still have
got good music. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many moments to me that just still make me die laughing, like the Stonehenge scene.
Yes.
Oh, that cracks me up. They had this big whole elaborate, Stonehenge, and then they, have like this little tiny thing, and like the dwarves that are dancing around it on stage.
Yeah,
David
it's
St.
hysterical.
Owens is like, what the shit is this?
Have you seen Stonehenge? They're fucking. Oh, God. Yeah, I love it. Anyway, all right. So this is Spinal Tap. What's up next? I think Scary Movie.
Moving on up to the east side.
Now, how do you guys feel about Scary Movie? Because some people think it's stupid. I like it. The first one I really liked.
The first couple movies, yeah. I mean, I'm going to agree with you. The first couple ones were actually really, really funny.
Yeah, and they just got worse and worse and worse.
They did. They did kind of get
I don't think I saw anything past 3.
I saw 4. I think 4 was 3 or 4. The one with Charlie Sheen. He tried to make a comeback.
I think it was 3.
3 was it? 3.
They blur together with me.
They do kind of.
They just kind of merge in my mind,
Now the second Scary Movie is one of my favorites, only because Chris Elliott's in it, and he's got that fucked up hand.
Oh right, okay, I remember that.
Every time he's in a scene with that hand,
Which one was the one where Anna Faris gets plastered to the ceiling?
I think that was one.
When
they were staying in the haunted house.
Yep.
Right.
No, that was 2. That was 2 because that's the one with Chris Elliott.
Okay, yes, you're right.
Yeah. They go to the haunted house or whatever. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So Scary Movie. I mean, we'll probably get to 2 and 3 on here. I don't know,
Most likely. Well,
I'd stop after 2.
I don't know why they wouldn't just like do a franchise as a spot on here.
Yeah, exactly.
No, actually, no, I'm glad they didn't, because if Scary Movie deserves to be in the 18th spot on this list, and these are in an order, a preferential order, then I don't think 4 deserves to be.
It's just like with the Saw movies. If you were doing like a compilation of horror movies, like the first couple Saw movies were good. 3, and that's where it kind of started to just become repetitive.
Yeah. And that's what I don't understand.
Torture porn.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, the couple of other scary movies, like I said, they were done by good guys. They were done by Jim Abrams and Pat Proft.
Right.
You know, and I just don't know whether they didn't have it in them or what. Who did?
Somebody handed them a paycheck, and they said, all right, fuck it, we'll do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And that's the attitude that went into the movie, and it showed through.
The thing is that with horror movies, some of these movies are very selective about what they're parodying. With horror movies, I mean, they keep making different kinds of horror movies every day, so you could virtually go scary movie for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and just add new elements to it because, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But
I want to see a scary movie prequel that touches on the old Grindhouse films of the 70s.
There you go. That would be good. That would be awesome.
Get the Wayans back. They're the only ones that can do it.
All right, not another teen movie.
Once again, I haven't seen it.
I need to know who directed this. You haven't seen this?
I have not seen this.
Oh, man. All right,
I skipped it because, like I said, it just looked like a rehash of all of the parodies coming out at the time.
It does, but it's hilarious. It's funny. It's got it's got everything you want out of a parody movie and everything you want out of a teen comedy, I would say. Like some of the things they go to are, man, I don't even know. Like the one black guy who's hilarious. He pretty much breaks the fourth wall all the time.
Yeah, I remember
noting that he's the only black guy in it.
Guy.
Yeah. He even goes to a party and there's another black guy at the party and he walks up to him and he's like, "Hey, I'm supposed to be the only black guy here," and then he makes him leave. Because he just goes, I'm just here to say whack. That is whack. That is whack. But yeah, that and just like the Molly Ringwald scene is really neat. There's a Breakfast Club parody in it with what's his name?
I can't think of his name.
Yes, I can't think of his damn name. I used to know his name.
I know who you're talking about.
But he's in it, and there's a good recreation. It's pretty funny about that. But yeah, not another teen movie. I would definitely recommend as a newer one. I mean, how old is that? 2001.
We're gonna be pretty fucking drunk tonight, so I say we put that on in the background.
Okay, that's cool.
All right.
Just don't be surprised if I don't stop staring at Chris Evans during the whipped cream bikini scene.
Oh my god, I didn't even know that was Chris Evans until I rewatched it.
Yes.
I was like,
she won't shut the fuck up about it. Ever
God
since the
bless
first
America.
Captain
That's
America.
all I gotta say.
Right?
That is America's ass.
All right, now the next one is another one of my favorites. Please tell me you've seen it, Fred.
I have seen Top Secret.
Yes. Do you like Top Secret, guys?
I love Top Secret.
Have you seen Top Secret?
I have not actually.
You need to see it.
I'm in the mood for comedy anyway, so yeah. I mean, tonight let's just watch some comedy movies.
And once again, you look down here, we got the names. You got Zucker and Zucker, and you've got Jim Abrams. See, and that's when they're good. That's when those people know how to write parodies.
Yes. You got to get them together, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like I said, when you remove an element, that's why you get the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they removed too many creative elements from the process, and George Lucas no longer had anybody around him that was comfortable saying, that makes no fucking sense, George. Because anybody who said that got fired.
Yep.
You know?
Yep, but it's the same thing with Kathleen Kennedy now, too. So
exactly. She's
all right, now
the different horse.
Top Secret, definitely go watch it. The next one, is that a parody?
One of my personal favorites of all time.
Too,
this is one of mine too, but is it a parody?
It's
I don't think that
it's not. I mean, it had the moments like in the beginning, like with the fake trailers and everything.
Those are parodies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those, and I would pay good money to go see the Fathers. Okay, they missed an opportunity by not actually making the Fathers. Like with Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez in Grindhouse, when they actually made Machete a fucking movie. They should do that with the Fatties.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to call Jack Black.
Is there anything I can get for you, ma'am? Oh yes, my dear boy, more beans.
Some of those were, it's so dead on. I really don't think that it got, because I can remember when it came out that Robert Downey Jr. got a little bit of flack for the blackface. But on the other hand, I don't think it did as much as they thought it was going to do, and I think it's because it really depicted Hollywood is what it pretty much is.
And I think not a lot of people were expecting something different from that movie. They were expecting like an actual parody of war movies and stuff like that.
People were actually expecting a parody, and what they got was a cleverly written comedy, and people don't have the brains for that anymore.
Yeah, no, they don't.
That's why I didn't do well.
Another movie that wouldn't get made today.
Yeah. No way in hell. No. And Robert Downey Jr. in that is excellent. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
He's one of my all-time favorite actors, anyways.
Anything that he does, going all the way back to fucking Weird Science.
And
I've loved everything I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, I have too.
I might watch that again sometime soon too.
Weird Science?
If only for... Okay, Jim's not here to give me shit for this. So. Didn't Kelly LeBrock have Full Frontal and The Woman in the Red Dress with Gene Wilder?
No. That's one of my favorite movies. Nope.
I've been told.
Nope, she did not.
Shane, you're wrong.
She at the very end of the movie, I believe she is in a bra and panties. There's no full frontal, I guarantee that. But yeah, no.
Well, we're getting into Mr. Skin territory, and that's not what the episode's about.
No, it's not.
Moving on.
Yes, which is Galaxy Quest.
Not a parody.
Nope.
Not amazing comedy, not a parody.
No, I don't think it was a parody either. I mean, yeah, it was a parody on Star Trek, but it was its own movie.
From what I understood, and I could be wrong on this, I heard the story. It was originally supposed to have the cast of Star Trek in it portraying themselves, doing the whole Star Trek thing, but they couldn't get anybody to sign on for it, probably least of all Shatner.
Yeah.
So they just had to go with their own thing. And that's the only thing in this that I think could qualify as a parody is the show itself. But even that is portrayed as having been a serious show.
Exactly, yeah. It's all done in serious. It's just the shit that they get into that's the comedy.
There's some funny shit
Yeah.
in there. Like
oh, God,
alien, I forget who plays that alien girl.
The alien girl and the alien guy, the one alien guy that's real anxiety-ridden and stuff, he is hilarious.
Well, see, the only reason I mentioned that, I had a huge celebrity crush on her for a long-ass time. She was in a few things right around the time.
Is this the girl with
this came out?
Straight hair?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I know you're talking about, yeah.
You know who I'm talking about. I want to find out who that was, though. Cause
it was...
her.
She's been in other stuff. I guarantee
it.
A
lot of other things.
Oh, I forgot Sigourney Weaver was even in it.
Missy Pyle.
I mean, she's one of the main people.
Oh,
it's Missy Pyle. I know who she is. She does a bunch of movies.
She really does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she's really good. She's funny. She can be funny.
Well, let's check out her filmography. We've got a little bit of time here.
Nothing. Drunk History. She's been on that.
Oh, nice.
I mean, nothing great, but I mean, she's been in some movies I've seen, which she's really good in. I think she's kind of a character actor.
Good character actor.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
All right. Well.
And that might even be where I know her from the show Mom. Right. I might know her from that because I watched that a lot when it was originally first on. But yeah, I don't see much else that I.
No. But you see her
she was
all the
good,
time.
yeah.
You see her. She's got a recognizable face. She's talented.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on again.
So that's not
basketball.
Would you consider that
not a parody?
No, yeah, I can't consider it.
Very slapstick comedy.
Yes, hilarious movie.
It does kind of poke fun in certain ways at sports movies.
Yeah,
but I still wouldn't say that it's a parody.
No. Yeah,
because if you're going to be a parody, I'm going to add this to the definition. If you want to be a parody, you have to commit to the parody for the entire thing.
Yes, exactly.
The entire package has to be parody.
Yep.
You can't just have moments of parody.
I mean, I'll agree with that, but honestly, though, like, Trey and Matt are geniuses at satire, though. It's really good satire.
They really are. Oh,
that's what I mean, we got a difference here. I mean, there's satire and there's parody, so maybe that's what it is. Satire.
I forgot about it. Thank
you.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is. This is more satire.
Yes.
Is the basketball thing. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's a great movie, but yeah, I wouldn't consider it in the parody realm, and neither would I consider the next one in the parody realm. Once again, that's with Shaun of the Dead.
No, I mean, it's not parody.
No.
It's just a comedy.
Yeah, it is. It's an action comedy, actually, or a sci-fi action comedy.
Again, we need to contact the asshole to put this list together, because Mars Attacks doesn't belong
here
I
don't see that either. What?
That was based on a set of trading cards.
Yeah. And
Did you know that?
Yeah, and it was not a good movie. I mean, it was all right.
Yeah, it was fun. Had a nice all-star cast.
That's Tim Burton, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he filled that with like all kinds of stars, and it failed miserably at the box office. Well, I have seen it. It's funny for what it is, but it's not a parody.
I don't change the channel when it comes on TV. I'll put it that way.
Oh, see, I definitely would.
See, and that's why it's good to have more than one person talking on the microphone, because when you have different opinions, you can go back and forth on it.
And what's funny is my daughter just asked me about that movie because she's really heavily into Tim Burton right now, and she asked me, "Is that any good?" And I'm like, it's all right. She's 16, going to be 17.
That's the age where you start becoming obsessed with Tim Burton,
Edward Scissorhands. She's into all of them now. Plus, she's got a big crush on Johnny Depp. I don't know why. But
ask any female.
Yeah.
Back in the day, yeah. I mean, he was hot back in the day. He's starting to show his age now, though.
I'm not saying that he's not a good-looking guy. I'm not saying any of that, but I just think he's a little off base in the real world.
Well, I mean, to be honest, he is known for being eccentric.
Yeah.
When you
he's
own
very
your own
eccentric
island,
is the
you
perfect
can just
word.
Stay there and cut yourself off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You spend long enough out there, you do become disconnected.
Yeah, I understand that. I get that. But I like him.
Plus, he's done so much acid in his life. He's
just with Fear and Loathing Las Vegas alone.
You know?
All right, so
Moving
what's
on.
next?
Again.
Not a parody and not a good movie.
No.
I don't
I
think.
didn't even enjoy the movie, no.
No, yeah, get past.
Yeah, fuck that one.
Not a parody.
Not a parody, amazing movie.
You like this?
I loved this movie.
I haven't seen it since it came out, and I remember I wasn't a huge fan, but all my friends were.
Well,
Martin Short for me goes one way or the other. I either hate him or I love him.
What is it, Shane?
And
always
this
used to
I
say,
hated him.
you're welcome to be wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying it's
I
not
love this
good.
movie.
I'm sure a lot of people love this movie. I love Chevy Chase and Steve Martin and Martin Short. But for me, Martin Short and Chevy Chase, for that matter, actually, can go one way or the other. It's either a horrible piece of shit or it's really good and comically done and surprising.
Would you say that there is a plethora of movies on this that don't belong?
Not so far, but there's quite a few.
We're just over halfway through it.
Yeah.
So.
No, that was actually.
I would not count Three
never mind.
Amigos though. So what was that?
That just
Is
smacked
that from
the dude
Three
in the
Amigos?
face, and it just smacked that skull in the forehead.
Was that Three Amigos?
Yes.
Okay. We'll
That
see
was,
that.
El
That just
Guapo.
goes to show you right there.
Oh,
El Guapo learned
yes.
a new word, plethora.
Yes. I do remember El Guapo.
I will say
I think so,
that might have been
yeah.
a parody, yes.
And I liked it more
Yes.
than other people did, I guess, because it sure
I
didn't
love
get
that
good
one.
I
ratings.
like Seth
God, I love that
MacFarlane, though.
Yeah, I do too.
Charlize Theron was amazing in that too.
And Liam Neeson.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it definitely was, because it really, if you look at it, it's just like it fits that parody film of it's a bunch of little sketches put together into a cohesive movie.
And see, this movie is the reason why I had faith in the Orville when I heard about it being in production for the first time.
Yeah.
Because he just does parody so fucking
Yeah,
well.
he does. He does a good job.
Of course, the Orville was never meant to be parody. He just billed it as that and made the first few episodes a little funnier than he intended, just so he could get it on the air.
Yeah.
Now he's making the show that he wants, and Jim would disagree with me on this. It's better Star Trek than Star Trek. Well, current Star Trek, anyways.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Fuck Discovery.
I thought you wanted to watch Discovery.
No.
All right, so this is a good one. You don't want to watch Discovery? Okay.
No, fuck Discovery.
All right.
It's not, I'm not going to. That's a whole other episode. Kung Fu
All right,
Hustle?
what's the next one? Never seen it. I've
never
heard
seen
of
it
it,
either.
and I know it's a parody or supposed to be a parody, but I've never seen it.
Actually, I don't think this is a parody. I think that this was. I think this is an actual Chinese kung fu movie.
Yeah.
That just got redubbed with parody lines.
Oh,
for
so
American
it's
audiences. I could be wrong on that. That might be something.
All right, hold on a second.
No, wait. I'm sorry. That might be Kung Pao.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of
Yes.
Kung Pao, which was hilarious, too. That I will consider a parody.
Okay.
Latin singer Jose is dead at 72, just in case you want to know. No, what I was going to look for was there was a movie. I think it's called What's Up, Tiger Lily?
Yes.
You've seen it? You know what I'm
I
talking
haven't
about?
seen it, but I know of it.
With Woody
That was
Woody Allen did,
yes.
and he took an old movie and he redid the lines for it and made it into a Now see, that's probably the same type of thing, or maybe the Kung Pao or whatever you said.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
I remember that one. I do remember that one.
You know what? I kind of want to play the trailer for this.
Okay, I do remember this movie because I remember that scene. It was kind of like The Matrix almost.
Okay, let's see here. See if it's an outright parody or what.
It doesn't fit the screen. I know that. Mr. Anderson, surprised to see me?
What the fuck?
And then Michael Jackson started recording a music video in the middle of their parody.
I love the old lady.
What the fuck?
Oh, this movie is great.
So I have not seen this, but it looks to me like it could be a parody.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a parody of like all those old kung fu
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
I think I'm down. I think I want to see this.
I might want to watch it.
Yeah, you won't be sorry.
See? Neo.
So it's like a little. We got a little Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type shit, and the old, like Nicole said, the old Bruce Lee stuff in the old '70s.
Like Shogun.
Yep,
and
yep,
shit like
yep.
that.
Okay, so that looks doable.
Nice.
That looks like
Very nice.
a parody. I mean, you know, I don't.
I'm not sure where it fits on the list because I haven't seen it yet, but okay.
Stephen Chow, I know the name, so he's directed other stuff that may have been famous or big, or I don't know.
He starred and directed.
Yeah. Oh, so maybe that's the guy. Oh.
Oh, and we're back into some Mel Brooks. History of the World Part 1.
History of the World Part 1. Parody or not? Man, that's a tough one. Because it doesn't parody really anything.
Mel Brooks comedy. See?
The Bible.
Yeah, but I mean only for a certain amount of time because...
But can you really parody the Bible?
Can you really parody history? You know what I mean? You look like the piss boy.
You watched
You look
Dogma,
like the piss
didn't
boy.
You?
You look like a bucket of shit. And you remember that? The piss boy? You look like the piss boy. You look like a bucket of shit.
It took me a second. Oh my
But
god.
yeah, that's a great, the piss boy.
I love Dom DeLuise in that movie.
Dom DeLuise was so funny, man.
Hilarious
he
in
was.
everything he did. And you know what? Even including Pizza the fucking Hut.
I forgot that's who he was.
Right.
So, History of the World, I mean, I kind of, yeah. Johnny English, I never saw.
Nah.
Me neither.
I've never been into Mr. Bean or any of
So
his
I like
stuff.
Mr. Bean. I love Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean's hilarious.
I think my favorite Mr. Bean short was the one with the nativity scene.
Yes.
Where like he just starts, he's like got the nativity set up right
Yeah.
there.
He's
And
got, like, the
it's in a department
T-Rex
store and he's
and-
playing with it, and he's got like the T-Rex comes in, and then the fucking the
I
Dalek,
think I have seen that,
the
yeah.
Dalek from Doctor Who
And
comes
then
rolling
the
in.
chopper bringing in the angel.
Yep.
I think I have seen that. But yeah, I never watched Johnny English or anything, and I don't know if that would be considered a full-out parody anyway.
I just kind of have fond memories of Mr. Bean because that was one of the things my math teacher at Apollo used to put on the TV whenever we
Mr.
didn't
Bean?
really have anything to do. He'd just pop in some Mr. Bean and we'd sit and veg out for the rest of the period.
I just couldn't really get into it, but...
I was hoping this was going to show up.
Oh my God. Do you like this?
This is the other one, isn't it? This is the
No, it isn't.
Which one was
There's
the other
one more.
There's three then.
3?
Yeah, because
Three bad Leslie Nielsen's?
No. You said there was 2 movies on here from. That's Mel Brooks, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There was 3 movies on here from Mel
Oh
Brooks.
my
that you
God!
didn't consider.
That's embarrassing to know that he did that. I didn't even know he did that.
Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Okay,
We
first of
broke
all,
Brett.
no, that's 95. First of all, he used Leslie Nielsen obviously because of his past parody history.
Yes.
That's something
Which
Mel
is the
Brooks
reason
should
you
not
do
have done.
use
He always
Nielsen
took
for.
people who didn't do that kind of stuff, parodies and shit, and he'd put them in. You know, comic actors or whatever.
Right.
With him grasping for, hey, let's take Leslie Nielsen. He's already done Airplane, blah 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 blah.
And Peter
I think that was
McNichol.
lazy. I can't even believe he made that movie.
Steven
I'm fucking
Weber.
sick to my stomach now. I mean, because that was another one. I mean, that's another one that I just no.
And you know what?
And it
I've
is a
never
parody.
Seen this one? It is a parody. I'll give it
It's
that.
straight up a parody.
It fucking pokes fun at all those Dracula movies.
Yeah, definitely.
Going all the way back to the Hammer shit and all the way back
Yep.
to the original Nosferatu. So yeah.
But I can't believe I might have to go back and watch it and just see how bad it was. The next one I've heard of, but I've never seen it. I think it's one of those Meet the Spartans type shit.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
And I haven't seen it, no,
Once
but I
again-
remember whenever it came out, it was just one of those movies like, oh, that looks really fucking
Yeah,
dumb. I don't think I
really
wanna watch
stupid,
that.
yeah.
Again, I never watched it because of the whole scary movie thing.
It was trying to cash in on that sort of
Exactly.
thing.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
about. Yeah.
I think I might have seen this actually. Now that I think of it.
I definitely
trailer.
Skipped it. I definitely skipped it.
What time is it? Play the trailer.
we've got
Okay,
time.
we got
We've
time.
got-
Okay, play the trailer.
We've got time. We got to fly through the rest of this list, though. Seems like every time you're a guest on the show, we go an hour and a half.
Sorry, not sorry.
Let's play it and see if we got it. Oh yes, it's got Drake in it. I have seen this,
do I
and it
want-
actually is not bad. If I remember right, it's not bad.
If I hadn't pushed her out of the way, she would have died.
The action doesn't get any sharper.
Leslie Nielsen again.
Leslie
It's
Nielsen.
easier than it looks.
Is that Kevin Hart?
Yes,
think
that
so.
is Kevin
The
Hart.
romance doesn't come any
I have
closer.
seen this.
Invisible Girl?
Oh, I saw the trailer.
I can fly!
And the mission
He can't even fly.
doesn't get any stranger.
I can fly.
Superhero movie.
Yeah, I think it was all right. I do remember it's Drake from Drake and Josh on it was on Nickelodeon. I know that because of my kids, but yeah, I think I remember when it first came out. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. Wasn't anything special. There's another Leslie Nielsen one that was bad. 98.
Kelly.
See, this is when he started.
That was like a takeoff of the Fugitive, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
Kelly
see,
LeBrock.
Kelly LeBrock's in it, but so's Richard Crenna.
Oh wow.
He must have played the FBI agent.
Which, by the way, I started watching all the Rambos again.
Did you?
I watched First Blood last night. I'm going to watch First Blood Part 2 tonight and Rambo 3. And
First Blood Part 2 was always my favorite.
Right. It's where they put him in his element, you know?
Yes, they did.
That first movie was a whole separate thing. This is a different. This is a Jim wouldn't want to do this, but this is a whole separate episode.
You know what's funny though that I just found out was the one that's the most graphic, the one that the fourth one.
Yeah.
That's the one that the guy who wrote the original book likes the most. That's
Really?
the only one he likes.
Wow.
Because he said that Rambo was the Rambo that he wrote. It was exactly the way that he envisioned Rambo to be, and that's the only one he likes out of the entire series. He doesn't even like First Blood, which is the book he wrote.
Wow.
But he said, yeah, he said that was he was in his element, is what he said.
Stephen King notoriously did not like The Shining.
Yeah.
So.
Which I don't know. You know, some people say that they don't like he didn't like The Shining because they did too good of a job of it.
That was what
I think that was you said, yeah. And I've heard that before. That like they just did too good of a job on it and made it something even more.
I was just speculating. I wasn't saying anything for certain. I just thought maybe that was the case.
It could be
because I really did enjoy the hell out of that. Kubrick
everybody
movie.
did. Everybody did.
And the book puts me to sleep. I'm sorry. There's people that I know who will sit and read a Stephen King book just looking at a Stephen King book.
Yeah.
Just the fucking Stephen, that's how thick they are.
Oh, yeah.
It's a daunting thing to look
Yes.
at. I'd rather just watch them. There was a line in the Real Ghostbusters, the old cartoon from the 80s, where I don't even remember what was going on, but they were trying to find this evil book. And Venkman's just like, you know what? I'll wait for the movie.
Oh God! All right, what's next?
Moving on. No,
that's not. That's just a cheesy cult movie.
I love the movie, but
it's a cult movie. That would be considered cult classic.
So. Although I preferred Return of the Killer Tomatoes when they were turning the tomatoes into actual people.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Was that the one
that
with
spawned the cartoon too? That was the one with the little fuzzy tomato and the hot chick that escapes with the fuzzy tomato.
This is the one with George Clooney, though, correct?
Yes, that is.
Okay.
No.
Oh, is it the other one? Okay,
that was two.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
With the pizza place that didn't serve actual pizza because tomatoes were outlawed by the second one.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's got people eating like peanut butter and jelly pizza with an anchovy on it.
Obviously ran by pregnant women.
The next one is I like this one.
Definitely a parody,
I do like
and
it.
I love Sam Jackson and everything he does. He's a box office draw.
I kind of think that Amelia wanted a little bit of what Charlie was getting with Hot Shots.
You know,
because this came after Hot Shots. But I remember thinking this is going to be horrible and seeing it, and it was actually pretty good.
It worked.
It's a Lethal Weapon, parody, and
it worked.
It's got some other stuff in it, but yeah, it's good. I like it. I like Emilio Estevez though too. That's the one.
There we go.
That's one of the ones that's
yes.
horrible.
Really, you didn't like it?
This goddamn thing
Lloyd
rented
Bridges.
so much at Hollywood Video, and I wanted to attack every person that rented it. I did. I'm serious. Are you really going to go home and watch this piece of shit? I'm sorry, but
Brett's
it's
triggered.
Bad. It's bad. It's a bad movie.
Oh boy.
And Jim Abrams directed it. Holy shit.
Okay, that actually fits too.
There's
We're
another
actually getting
bad
into
movie.
some real parodies.
Yes, these are real parodies, but these are
They're
not good parodies.
They're not good, but they do fit the definition.
Fatal Instinct I saw, and that was a bad one. That's Armand Desante's in it. I think that
no.
That's not a parody at all. That's a great movie, but it's not a parody.
Amazing. That's one of my favorite movies of all fucking time.
I thought I was one of the few people that knew that movie.
Yeah, Mystery Men's good.
Yeah.
I enjoy that one.
But it was not
it's
a
not
parody.
parody.
No, it's not.
No.
I'm just... The only thing that upsets me about that is that they did not manage to get the flaming carrot in there. But that's what it was based on, Flaming Carrot comics.
Yep.
I did my research.
I really like that movie. I always have. But it's not a parody. Silent movie's not bad. I wouldn't consider it a parody, though.
I don't know. It parodies silent movies.
Yeah, but it's more in the context of it's done as a silent movie. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I'd have to look at it again, but I wouldn't consider it a parody movie.
Do you want to just have a Mel Brooks marathon?
Yeah, we should sometime.
You know?
Mel Brooks rocks. He's awesome. What's up?
I remember
this is a good
when
one.
I was a kid, when I was a fucking kid, I wanted to see Friday the 13th so bad, and I couldn't. I would have to wait until Mom got in the shower so that I could sneak downstairs and put Showtime on and watch like fucking 10 minutes of Friday the 13th.
Yep, done it. Been there.
But I kept bugging her. I'm like, Mom, I want to see it. Mom, I want it. And she wouldn't because of the drugs and the fucking sex and the violence.
Well, that's what they all get killed for. You should have told her, hey, they get killed for that.
She went to the video store and she brought this
Did you watch it?
Yes, unfortunately I did.
Okay, at the time, it was funny.
It pissed me off.
I have now gone back and I have watched it.
Yeah.
And it is not funny.
I downloaded it recently, like maybe in the last year or so, and never actually got the courage to watch it.
It's one of those movies where when you're a kid, it's funny. Like the one I always bitch about. Hold on. The one I always bitch about, Cannonball Run.
Cancer sticks.
Yeah, Cannonball Run. I loved when I was a little kid, but then I went back and watched it, and I was like, this is the stupidest thing on fucking earth. How is this funny to me? I had the same experience with this about 2 weeks ago because we were talking about Friday the 13th, and I remembered this movie.
Right.
And a friend of mine had a poster on his wall of it. And so I went back and watched it about 2-3 weeks ago or whatever. I watched like the first 20 minutes, and I was like, this is fucking horrible.
No, if anything, this should have been the title of Friday the 13th Friday the 13th Part 4. Because that takes place the day after Part 3.
Correct. You are right. You are right.
They should have just called that Saturday the 14th.
I saw what they were going for here. I mean, it's one of the first parody movies. I mean, like, what, 81? I mean, you know, so I mean...
Yep.
I know what they were going for. I just don't think it holds up.
Nah, it was a piece of shit. I'm just pissed that it wasn't Friday the 13th.
All right, now the next one is one of my favorites, my all-time favorites. If you guys... Not necessarily you guys, but if people listening love the scary movies, you have to rent or buy I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Yeah, because this came before those. This was the Wayans getting started.
Yes. And
this was right around the time of In Living Color, too.
What's even funnier, and I don't think it's on this fucking list, and it's going to piss me off, is that there's another movie, there's a connection here, by, I don't know if you remember Robert Townsend, very famous black comedian, huge.
Yep.
He originally was the one that did all this. Before I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, he made a movie called Hollywood Shuffle.
I remember
which was all skits and stuff about black actors trying to get work in Hollywood. And it's hilarious. He helped write this and helped get Keenan Ivory Wayans and the Wayans brothers started because he was big before them.
Nice. So
that's how this came along. Now, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, for nobody who's seen it, it's basically... It's the old blaxploitation films. They're making fun of those. That's the parody of it. So it's stuff like, you know, Shaft and I can't think of Foxy Brown, you know, all that kind of. They even, one of the greatest things in the whole thing is every good character needs their own theme music. So that's one of the big lines in it. So every time a character,
no trailer.
Yeah, of course not. Every time a character walks down the street, he's got his theme music going, and they're all behind him, like playing the theme music. And at the very end, they have a theme. Jack of Spades is his name, Keenan's name. And at the very end, they have KRS-One following him with a DJ with turntables, and they're playing his music. It's hysterical. It's great. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker is an excellent Keenan Ivory Wayans movie. That's way before, like Fred said, scary movie and all that shit. This is them getting started, and it was probably at their prime.
Yep, the door opened. They came through.
I think even Damon's in it, and he's not even really... I don't know anything about this. I saw this on there.
I've never heard of it either.
It's an old movie. I've heard of it, but I don't know why it would be a parody. James Garner's in it. That's who I was named after. I know you asked me, my name is Brett. Why are you named after James Garner?
Right.
Yeah, because my mom was a huge, giant James Garner fan. She had a little thing on her flip of her car, you know, a picture of him, and he played Brett Maverick on TV.
Oh, right.
So I was named after James Garner as Brett Maverick.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I know.
A little bit of trivia for you folks.
So anyway, yeah, I've never seen that, but I know it's a comedy.
Kentucky Fried Movie.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's
I've mentioned this before. I love this fucking movie.
From what I've seen of this, yes, it's hilarious.
Now there are certain skits that still hold up no matter what, but there are skits in this that don't hold up.
We have a trailer.
Try and check it out and see what. Yeah. Because I don't remember the trailer of this being. Oh, well, this is for Blu-ray, so maybe it's got some more shit in it.
Yeah, it might.
Award-winning motion picture producer Samuel L. Bronkowitz.
That's the name they always use, Bronkowitz.
I have spent a lifetime in the motion picture industry. Now, after 50 years in Hollywood, I have finally produced what I feel is the finest motion picture ever made. I have called it the Kentucky Fried Movie. The Kentucky Fried Movie heralds the return to traditional values.
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
It is a film of heartfelt passion, a great love story.
Oh, take me to the drive-in. Prove you love me.
Okay, so stop that for a minute. That guy right there, the guy that was doing that, the court stenographer, I don't know if you know or not, he's the guy that's also in Airplane, and he's one of the Zuckers, him. He's one of the Zuckers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
or one of the Abrams, I'm not sure which, but he helped write Airplane and everything. He's in Airplane. He's the one that always goes, "Oh, there's shopping," and you know all that weird shit.
It explores the subtle nuances of interpersonal relationship.
Oh yeah, the
Of course, there are occasional moments.
That's the moment I remember
Yeah.
the most. Is
yeah, because there's a movie just like Amazon Women on the Moon. It turns into a movie.
The Kentucky Fried Movie is a film that demands the greatest performances from the finest actors of the cinema.
Hey, look, Roy.
Wasn't that the one where they couldn't get the actual beaver and the guy was all pissed off?
Yeah.
Cities in flames! The National Guard is powerless to deal with this situation. Governor, what are we going to do?
An anticipated 10% price hike across the board on petroleum products.
I invite every man, woman, and child to share with me the joy and warmth of the Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
So
it's on Shout.
that's another one. Oh, it is.
It's on Shout Factory.
Oh, there you go. It's on my Voodoo too.
Nice.
Here's the thing, though, that once again, as we've seen, movie trailers from back then didn't really show much. That's not a good trailer to anticipate that movie. I will say that
at least
some
they
of the,
didn't do shit back then where it was like, this is just made for the trailer.
Yeah,
And then you
yeah,
watch
yeah.
the movie and it's not there.
It's not in there. Yeah, yeah. But that one really didn't show enough. It's very good.
Rogue
It's
One.
funny. It's a bunch of skits and it's hilarious. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's one of the classics. 77. It's one of the first ever. There was a one before this actually
was,
called Groove Tube.
It was movie 43 before movie 43
Yes,
was
exactly.
movie 43.
Exactly. And there was one before this called Groove Tube, which I never got to see, but it was supposed to be the same. I have no
See,
clue
no.
what that is.
I've heard the
No.
title. I have.
Never
not
heard
a
of it.
clue.
I've
Not a
heard
clue.
the title. Nah. There you go.
High Anxiety is on there. All right.
Anxiety, okay.
High Anxiety is a classic. It's great, especially if you like
I always
Alfred
think of
Hitchcock.
Vertigo, especially Vertigo.
Yeah, I mean, there's Vertigo references in it. The Bird, Psycho. I mean, all it's amazing. It's an amazing Mel Brooks film. It's always been
I
my
was
favorite.
a huge Madeline Kahn fan back then too.
I think everybody was at that age. She's pretty sexy.
Right.
Sorry, Nicole.
Taffeta, darling? No, the dress is taffeta. Seriously, don't touch it.
All right, what's after that then? So that's
something I've never heard
A
of.
Mighty Wind. Dude, what? You've never heard of
I've
this?
heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Christopher Guest, Eugene Levy.
Okay, stop what you're doing right now. Have you seen Best in Show?
I have. I love that movie.
She keeps trying
If
to
you
make me
like
watch
Best
that
in
show.
Show,
funny.
if you like Best in Show, you will like A Mighty Wind.
Well, goddamn it,
It's
now I have two
from
things to
Christopher
watch.
Guest. Any Christopher Guest movies are fucking hilarious because they're almost all improvised.
Okay.
I would not consider this a parody movie though because it just takes place in they're reuniting old folk acts, and they reunite them for one day and do a big concert, and it all takes
Yeah,
place
'cause
there.
You'll notice that a lot of these are just like in the description. It'll even say a parody of blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah.
It
And
doesn't even say that.
It's not really a parody. No, it's
Mockumentary.
just a very
Mockumentary.
hilarious movie. Yeah, it could be a mockumentary, I guess.
It bills itself as a mockumentary.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, I guess, but I mean, all of his movies are mockumentaries. Have you ever seen Waiting for Guffman?
No.
Haven't.
Oh God, you guys have got all of these Christopher Guest movies are on my Vudu. You need to see Waiting for Guffman. You need to see this one's all right. I would pick that as the last one.
Is it on there?
Yeah, Best in Show.
I highly recommend Best in
I have
Show.
every Christopher. I watch Best in Show just in the background sometimes because I think it's so fucking funny.
Fair enough.
And even my wife likes it, and she's not really into that kind of humor.
Again, fair enough.
But anyway, all right. So what's next? I wouldn't
We've
consider
got
that parody.
3 more left on the list. We've got Spy Hard.
That's it right there. That's the one that
Yes,
everybody
Leslie
used to rent at
Nielsen.
Hollywood Video, and that is
Nicolette
a piece
Sheridan.
of shit.
Nicolette Sheridan, though.
Yeah, but Leslie Nielsen,
Do you
though,
remember-
doing not good.
Do you remember the movie I used to rent all the time? I'll give you a hint. All-star cast. Nicolette Sheridan was in her underwear for the whole thing.
How would I know that?
Well, if you haven't seen this,
in
then
her underwear?
I'm going to bring you my copy of this movie, and you can watch it. Noise is Off.
Oh, yes, I have seen
Yes.
it.
Okay.
It also stars John Ritter, right?
Yes, John
Yes,
Ritter,
that's why I saw it with
Christopher
John
Reeve,
Ritter.
Michael Caine.
Yep. Carol Burnett?
Carol Burnett
Carol
is
Burnett's
in
in it. Yes, I've seen it.
Mary Lou Henner.
Yep.
Just all-star.
It all takes place during a they're putting on a show, right?
Yes.
Yep.
The first act is them going through the first act of the play.
Mhm. Yep.
The second act is that first act of the play again.
Yeah.
But on a production night.
Yeah.
When it's from behind the scenes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the shit going on behind the
Yeah.
scenes is just as hectic as the shit on
Yep.
on the stage. And then the third act of the movie is the whole fucking thing just falling apart.
Yep.
Because by then they can't stand
Yeah,
each other.
it is a great movie. I will watch anything that John Ritter was in. He was one of my heroes when I was a little kid. I loved Three's Company.
Same with Christopher Reeve.
yeah.
Same with anybody in that movie, actually.
There was a movie, do you remember? And I had to get it on nefariously, but there is a movie called Hero at Large. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
That is a movie it's really good. It's like 81, 80. It's John Ritter, and he plays, this was before MCU and all that shit. He plays a guy who goes out and he decides he's going to be a hero. Because I think what happens is he actually stops a robbery in progress at a market he's at.
See, now,
So he's like, I can do this.
shoplifter on my way out of the mall once, and that didn't make me want to put a cape on.
Go down and we'll go to remind me of that Hero at Large, and we'll pop it up here in a minute. But anyway,
Spy Hard?
it's bad. It's really bad.
Silence of the Hams.
That's even worse.
Yes, I will agree with that. That was 94.
Yeah, there's a reason
The
that
mid to late 90s parodies that were coming out were all just of the same. They were cut from the same goddamn cloth.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, you could build a tapestry.
Because there's some other ones on here that I didn't see on here. Like Movie 43 is not on here. If you're gonna put Silence the fucking Hams on here,
right?
Then put Movie 43 on here. Why wouldn't you?
Like I said, I need to get a hold of the guy that made this list because there's shit that doesn't even need to be on this list.
Yeah, I know.
That could have been replaced by
I can't
things
wait
that
to see
do.
what the 50th one is.
Right. Well, here we go. Scrolling down.
I'm sure it's nothing.
I forgot Billy Zane was
elaborate.
in that.
Billy Zane's in
The Great.
the Great Dictator. That's not a parody though.
It's from 1940.
I mean, it's a good movie. Have you ever seen
Charlie
it?
Chaplin?
It actually is a good movie. I used to be into Charlie Chaplin.
No, I have not actually seen.
And this is the one where he pretty much fucked Hitler. Where he pretty much made Hitler look like a bumbling fucking idiot.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like literally, and I'm wondering how they got away with this in the 40s.
No. That would be cool though.
Right?
No. You know, he had the mustache and everything. So and the signs, like the signs he has like banners like the Nazis used to, except for some other different kind of sign that looks kind of like a swastika. But at the time, he was like, this was his achievement.
If I find myself in the mood for some Charlie Chaplin sometime, that's the first one I'll check
I'm not
out.
saying I would watch it, again, because I'm not really at that state where I was into Charlie Chaplin. But yeah, it is a good movie. I mean, it for what it's worth. I don't remember if it's silent or not though, because I know a lot of his shit was silent. Type in Hero at Large.
Hero at Large.
And then we're going to have to end the show. We're over an hour, and we already ended. So that was our list of parodies, not our list, IMDb's list, and we were going out there.
IMDb list of parodies. We don't agree with.
And now we're going to
most of it, actually.
Check out a classic trailer of John Ritter being awesome that Fred or Nicole have never seen. This is old.
It shows.
A robbery is in progress.
That was that old SD recording.
Mind if I drop in?
John Ritter is Steve Nichols.
How about that?
Hero at Large.
Who are you, J. Edgar Hoover?
I'm Captain Avenger.
Such a nice boy.
He can't fly.
Tomorrow I'm leaping over a tall building at a single bound.
Wrong guy.
I'm expanding.
He can't bend steel.
I'm in big trouble.
Fighting crime is
I
dirty
love
business.
John Ritter.
I did too. Remember Stay Tuned?
Oh yeah,
I love that fucking movie.
That's a guy I haven't seen that in ages.
Right?
Hold it right there. Don't make another move.
But they're gonna use real bullets. I think I'll retire.
He's loved by women.
Not always this easy.
I bet you say that to all the girls.
Cheered by men.
They want their superhero and all he stands for to hold on to.
And
Those
worshipped by
tights.
children.
Those underwear.
Yes, sir.
It reminds me of The Greatest American Hero.
Yeah.
He's nutty, but noble.
I'm counting to 3, Milo. What the hell is that? This is Robert Redford.
He's dizzy, but dedicated.
He's an actor, that's it. He's a working or wanting to work actor.
But he's really just an actor.
Yeah.
Got carried away with a role.
It's just like any other part. You gotta really get into it. Captain Avenger.
Who sends you out on these missions anyway? Your agent?
I took a third-rate movie, made it the biggest hit of the year with a simple gimmick. Captain Avenger comes to your neighborhood.
Authorities are still wondering who the man in the red, blue, and yellow costume with a large A on his chest really is.
It's me, Steve Nichols.
All he knows about heroes is that people need one.
Yeah, I heard it a couple of times.
All he could do was make himself hero at large.
Well, I think it's really terrific.
John Ritter, Ann Archer, Bert Convy,
That's what I thought that was.
and Kevin McCarthy. Hero at large.
Yeah, so it's a little cheesy.
I
You
like
know, it's
Kevin
like an
McCarthy,
80 movie.
too.
Yeah, I do too.
You know
But
what
it's
should have
good.
wound up on? No, because it breaks my definition,
What?
my addendum to the definition. I was going to say UHF, Weird Al Yankovic. His
See,
one
but that
attempt
could be considered because it is a bunch of skits made into a
it's
cohesive
a bunch
movie
of skits,
again.
but the movie itself has a comedic storyline
Yeah.
to it that's
Yeah.
not really a parody.
Okay, now wait.
And that's what I'm saying. It didn't commit wholeheartedly as a movie. It just has a bunch of skits.
Yeah.
For a fictional TV station within the movie.
Okay, now here's my question though: wouldn't it automatically be considered a parody
just because it's Weird Al?
Because it's Weird Al. I mean, because there is a lot of stuff in that movie. I mean, I know there's a cohesive movie behind it, but I mean, think about like Spatula City. Think
Oh, I
about
know.
Conan the Librarian.
the guy throwing the dogs out the window. Who is that? What was that all
Ramon's
about?
Raw
Welcome to Raoul's Wild Kingdom.
Yeah.
Coming to
I
you
mean,
live
that's-
from my apartment. How about that, huh?
Really, it was perfect because he said, I'm going to make a TV channel, and then he put all of his skits basically on the TV channel. I mean, I'm saying in Weird Al's mind, not in the character's mind. You know what I mean?
That movie
so, I mean, I
bombed
think
so hard that he never
it
made another movie.
It did.
He
And
never
I
made
think it's
another
good.
movie.
It's funny.
It's amazing. I still
It's a
watch
cult classic.
Yes,
I
it
still
is.
watch it to this
Especially
day.
if you like Weird Al. You have to like it
Wheel
almost.
of Fish. I love
Wheel of Fish. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I think I went and saw that with Jim at the movie theater, actually, if I remember right. Yeah. But
Hey,
anyway.
Cooney, beginner's class today, huh? Yeah, that's so stupid.
I forgot all about that. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap things up because we got our parody done, got a little hero at large in.
And an honorable mention.
Fred, are you going to do the... We got
Yes,
to
we
do
can,
our thing here, our new system.
Close the thingy.
Hopefully this all recorded well. And we appreciate you guys listening to us and watching us. Thank you, Fred, Nicole, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And remember, right here, Jason Masks, $45.
45.
Pretty
and,
much as
just
official as you're going to get.
Tell me what part you like, which Jason mask is your favorite, and I will do my best to emulate it. I can't promise exact results because it's difficult to do that. But
yeah.
And if you just want me to mess around and make one, I can just. that's what this is. This was a fucking around mask.
But it looks fucking cool.
Well, thank you.
It looks badass.
So we out?
We are out of here. See you guys next week, and we hope you enjoyed the show.
Have fun.
See ya.
That's a wrap. We would like to thank all those listening and watching, our families, and all those passionate about pop culture. Make sure you do what you gotta do to keep up with our latest episodes. See you next time. Sincerely yours, the Culture of Pop.